Hello my friends, wherever you are all over the world. William Poloniak here again from Whole Health Foundation. And today I'm making a special small batch of juice with baby beets, some red Swiss chard, and one large leek plant, and a few other ingredients including carrots. Let's look at all my ingredients. For this juice I have about 10 pounds of carrots, the baby beets I just mentioned, the red Swiss chard I just mentioned, and one large leek plant, plus 100 grams of turmeric, about 100 grams of ginger, and 1 head of garlic. So let's make some juice. Now, as usual, I'm going to start with 3 ice cubes, but I first want to point out that I'm using the front-loading feed tube and the near zero blowback cutter, both of which minimizes or eliminates blowback. So let's start with some ice cubes. Cool down the cutter and the feed tube. I'm going to start with the baby beets. Just like hot baked through butter. Absolutely wonderful. Let's do some ginger next. Turmeric. Now I'm going to do the red Swiss chard. I want to remind you, whenever possible, use 2 hands. To clean the grid, you place the grid in the palm of your hand like so, and scrape the pulp off both sides. Clean the pulp off the knife, put the grid back in, and continue. And now I'm going to put in my garlic. Next I'm going to do the leek. When the motor works hard like that, it's a sign that the fiber is too thick on the grid, so I'm taking it out again. Clean the grid on both sides. And you notice I cut the leaves off the leek plant. Now, because leek leaves are very fibrous, I'm going to do one at a time. Fold them up as I'm doing here and feed one leaf through at a time. Notice my motor working hard, so I'm going to clean the grid again. Clean the fiber off both sides of the grid. Clean it off the knife. Reassemble and continue. When you have large carrots, again, the large end in first, not the small end. More carrots, large end in first. Steady pace. No need to rush it. Push down with 2 hands whenever possible. Small carrots, you can reverse them, put them end to end. Down to my last 2 carrots. Now whenever you're down to your last carrots, there's always a plug of produce in here. And one thing I love about this front-loading feed tube, you can actually see in here, and I see there's a plug of carrot. So what I'm going to do is put some pulp in here and force that last plug through. Now let me take the camera and show you what I'm talking about. So there you have the front-loading feed tube, and as you notice, you can look right in the feed tube and see if there's a plug of carrot, and there usually is at the last. And that's one of the nicest features about the front-loading feed tube, including almost eliminating 100% of the blowback. And as you'll notice in this video, we had no blowback at all. And the next step, as usual, is to remove the grid holder, clean the grid holder, clean the feed tube, mix the produce, and continue making juice. And we'll do that now. Before I mix my produce, I want to point out that if you like the front-loading feed tube and you want to improve your own juicer, to improve your juicing experience, my machine shop owner, Wayne, only charges $225 plus shipping to have yours done. All you need to do is contact me, send me your feed tube, and make arrangements. So let's mix the produce. We want a very thorough mix. Mix all the greens with the carrots. As long as you have carrots in your pulp mix, you don't need to use bamboo liners. But if you're doing only fruit or only greens, you definitely need the bamboo liners. Now I'm going to demonstrate my less work 6-cloth method. Placing 3 scoops in a cloth, fold it over in thirds just like they came packaged. Pull this into a tight package. 2 cloths, and they go into the center of the juice tray. Now this is very important, centered left to right, centered front to back. Notice how I can reach in here and center it if needed. All the way back, back it off a little bit, turn on the machine and continue. Again, I want to point out 3 scoops, and you fold it in thirds just like they came packaged. Now watch my folding technique. I put a little fold at the back to make it easier to fold, and the front part I pull with my fingers and tuck it underneath. We'll do a close-up next time to show you what that's like. Now you fold it over in thirds just like they came packaged. Pull it into as tight a package as you can. Notice I pull that all the way over. Make a little crease here to make it easier to fold. Take this with your fingers and tuck it under and set that aside. Advance that a little bit more. 3 more scoops. And again, just like it came packaged, into thirds, into as tight a package as you can make. Turn it upside down, flatten it, advance that all the way when you're on your last cloth. 3 more scoops, and now I'm going to show you my less work 6-cloth method. Watch again. Pull this into as tight a package as you can, a little fold at the front. At the back, pull the cloth under with your fingers. And here's the less work 6-cloth method. This goes forward, that goes over. The spent cloths go on top. When I'm on my last cloth, I'll advance that all the way. 2 scoops on the spent pulp. Now, the bowl is full, so I'm not going to put any more cloths in there, but I will fold this and we'll fill some bottles. So a crease at the front, pull it in under with my fingers, flatten it, set it aside. Here's my 6-cloth method. This goes forward, that goes over. The spent cloths go on top, but because we're going to fill some bottles, we're not putting this in the tray yet. And I want to point out, to prevent this from dripping on my countertop, I'm going to set this back, but not a little, a lot. It's going to have to be obvious. So let's fill some bottles with juice. Now I'm filling these bottles from the back side so the camera can get a good angle. And then you notice I'm leaving about 10% for filtered water or distilled water. I find the juice too concentrated anyway, so I usually add about 10% water. Let's make more juice. I'm going to pull my tray forward, make sure it's on the tray the juice press properly. 2 more claws in here, centered left to right. Notice how I can reach in and adjust it if necessary. All the way back, back it off a little bit, and continue. Flatten that, set it aside. And we're down to the last of my pulp. 2 more claws in the tray. Make sure it's on the press plate securely. Centered left to right. Notice how I can reach in and adjust it if necessary. All the way back, back it off. Now, to demonstrate how the Whole Health Foundation model juicer makes over 10% more juice, I'm not going to throw away this pulp. I'm going to fold it into a tight package and press it again to demonstrate how much more juice we can get. Now watch my folding technique. When I repackage it, I'm going to fold this under several times, 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 times. And then we'll do that in both directions. Turn it upside down, flatten it, set it aside, and when I'm on my last cloth, I'm going to fold it. Push that forward. Continue repackaging. Now you'll notice I've repackaged the spent pulp into 3 tight packages, double packets, and I'm going to use a measuring beaker to show you how much more juice we can get using a Whole Health Foundation Premium Model Juicer. So let's put 2 packets in the press. Now this is very, very important to be in the center. Left to right, reach in and adjust it if you need to, right in the center, all the way back, and this time I'm going to wait until I get traction and then back it off. Now I'm going to do a close-up to show you what I'm talking about. Now as soon as I get juice flow, I'll back it off a little bit, and once I determine this traction, I'll advance that all the way. I usually let this flow as long as there's a steady flow of juice until I get droplets. Now the steady stream is slowing down. And there's droplets, so I'll back that off, put in a 3rd set of cloths. Well, so far we have 12 and a half ounces of juice. So we'll stop this here. I'm going to pour this into the collection container and fill more bottles. Alright, my friends, as you can see, I have 7 bottles of juice plus enough for a taste test. And more than one of these bottles was from pressing the already spent pulp, and we got over 10% more juice. And the nutrients in the last 10% are your most valuable nutrients. Your first 10% is mostly water. Well, let's do a taste test. Well, there you have this small batch of juice, my friends. 1 large leek, baby beets, red Swiss chard, turmeric, ginger, and garlic. Let's do a taste test. Well, delicious as usual. I hope you like what you've seen. If you'd like to call me, my phone number is 760-753-0321. My email address is developtrust@cox.net, and my webpage is wholehealthfound.com. I'll see you in the next video.